Hi guys! So I just got back from the spring NABC. This video is a long time coming. Actually, I did it before, but I didn't like it, so I'm redoing it. Anyway, had a nice time there. I played with Pamela Granovetter, and we actually won the women's pairs. And then some of my friends from China, they actually won the women's Swiss at the end, and it was a pretty good nationals all around. So now going back in time to the fourth segment of our semifinal match against China. So it's been a while. So if you recall, we were leading by a pretty decent margin. We were up 102 to 57 going into the morning, the second day of the match. And I was playing with Beth as usual, and Janice and Toby were at the other table. So we are just doing our normal thing and hoping that stuff goes good for us here. So the very first board, the opponents had an uncontested auction here. 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, asking, 3 clubs, presumably showing a minimum. And, you know, in these kinds of situations, I always am hoping that we can maybe beat 3 clubs. So my partner led the 4 of spades, and Declare played low, and I won the ace. And so now my partner's spade play here, it might be 4-2 Doubleton or King third. What I usually think about is when Declare has shown a 6+ card suit, that usually they're the ones that have the shortness. So a spade continuation was not really going to be a possibility. So looking at the dummy, I can see that I have the heart suit locked up, and so the only thing to me that seemed like what I needed to do was just play trumps in case Declare had to ruff a diamond in the dummy. So that's what I did. I played back the 10 of clubs, went low, partner won the ace, and she had kind of a conundrum too, because she could see that if we could tap the dummy in diamonds, then she would be able to score her queen of clubs. So that's what she tried to do. And now Declare played a few rounds of hearts, and partner gave me even count, so I know that Declare has 3 now. Well, I suppose Declare could have 1 if Declare had stiff queen, but that seemed just very unlikely. So I ducked, and now she didn't want to suffer a ruff in the heart suit, so she played a club up to the king, and now of course my partner's not getting a ruff anymore, so I ducked again. And Declare drew trumps and conceded the ace of hearts and a diamond, basically, for making 3. So we defended it accurately, but there was not really anything that we could do on this board. The next board, Beth opened 1 no trump, and I have 10 counts. We do play 14 to 16 no trumps, so I think I was planning to just invite, although I did have the option to show a game-going hand with 5 hearts and 4 more diamonds, presumably 5 diamonds, so I think I probably was going to do that. But then Beth bid 3 hearts, super accept, and so then of course I just bid 4 hearts. And in 4 hearts, they led a spade and managed to get their diamond ruff, and now it's basically just on a heart finesse, which was offside, unfortunately. So this was a down 1 for a push. So next board. Now South opened 1 no trump, and I had nothing to say, so I said nothing. North transferred to 2 hearts, and Beth had an interesting bidding problem now. And she decided to bid 3 spades, which, because she's red on white, it's not just preemptive. Obviously they opened a no trump, so you're not trying to go for 500 here. You really want to have your bid. You want to have something close to like 8 tricks in your hand, if not, like a chance for 9. So what Beth had, she had something like maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. She had like you might guess that she had about 9 tricks in her hand. So that usually when you bid 3 spades over a no trump opener at red on white, I would play you for like maybe 8.5 to 8 to 9 tricks, something like that. So South had a heart fit with her partner, and she also had 2 doubletons, so she decided to take a shot and bid 4 hearts. And of course her partner might have nothing, But even if her partner had nothing, she would be down one basically if her partner had absolutely nothing. And if her partner had, say, the ace of hearts and out, then she would now be on a 2-2 heart break. So when they bid four hearts, I did think about doubling for a little bit, because I know, like I said, that my partner is showing something with three spades, and they're having a pretty silly auction. But I was worried that doubling might tip off the trump position if it mattered, and I wasn't planning to raise three spades to four spades, so I didn't think we had a lot to protect here. So I led my partner's suit, and she won and tried to give me a ruff to no avail. And now Declare led a club up to the ace, and my partner cashed the queen and played back a club for me to ruff. So Declare ruffed, I over ruffed. And now Declare can actually get out for down one if they know what the whole trump position is, because they can finesse me out of my heart and ruff the club high with the king. But they didn't know what the trump position was, so they started with the king of hearts, and now another heart, and then ruffed their club for down two. So actually, if I had doubled, then we would have just gotten the same result anyway. Although I did really want to double, given that my partner came in with three spades. At the other table, they elected to bid four spades with the east hand, which is, again, not unreasonable. A four spade bid, you're probably going to have like 9 to 9.5 tricks, something like that, which certainly best hand could evaluate to. But what she chose on this particular deal worked out better, so we picked up a few more imps here. So this is feeling pretty good. So this board, I opened one spade, and North overcalled a no trump, a little off shape, and it went pass. And, I think that it's normal to pass with this hand because you're only 5-4. But what I was thinking was that partner didn't raise spades, so it's very likely she has a fit in diamonds with me. And my spades were pretty weak, so, on a spade lead, it didn't seem like our prospects for defending 1-0 were going to be that great. So I was thinking that, honestly, if I catch partner with the right hand, we can make 2 or even 3 or 4 clubs, depending on what her hand is like. If I catch a big fit, certainly we might even make a game, although that wasn't what I was really targeting here. So I bid 2 diamonds, which is kind of an unsound bid. And North made a takeout double, and South had an easy leave-in of the double. So now it's pretty normal to lead trumps against doubled part scores, so that's what North did. She led a trump, and South played back a diamond, and I could see that it wasn't really going to matter if I finessed her diamond or not, because I would be able to score the 9 of diamonds and dummy's diamond in that event. So it was basically, if I took the finesse, it would be like a practice finesse. So just in case North had like jack and 1 or something, I played high, and North pitched. So now all the high cards are basically marked here. South didn't act over a no trump, and they have the ace jack of diamonds, so they can't really have much else. They might have like a jack or a queen, but definitely North has both of the black aces and probably the king of hearts as well. So I could have played a spade out immediately, but I didn't think that was the best thing to do. I thought perhaps the best thing to do here was going to be to set up a club trick so that when I did ruff my spade, I would have a trick to cash on the board. So I played a club, and North went up, and South played the 10, and now North was kind of stuck in her hand. She didn't want to play a spade because that would just set up a spade trick. She didn't want to play a club because that would give me the king of clubs, and she didn't want to play a heart because she wasn't sure about what the heart holding was necessarily. So actually, as it turns out, her best play is going to be a club, which is going to get me for down 2. But what she did was she hoped that her partner had the queen of hearts, which is very reasonable action here, because my 2 diamond bid, I should really be 5-5 here, right? So if I am 5-5, then even if she plays a heart and I happen to have ace queen doubleton, it's probably not going to cost that much, because otherwise the heart would just go away on the club, and it could be very good if she does catch her partner with the queen of hearts. That way they can cash their heart trick before I can pitch it on the club. So she tried a heart, which did not work. I went jack and queen. So now I played the king of spades because I wanted to make sure, of course, that North got on lead and South could not draw my last trump. So now she continued a club, which I pitched on, and I wanted to make sure that I got my heart trick in because North probably had 4 hearts and South probably had 2, so in case the shapes were as they were, I didn't want South to be pitching a heart on a club off the dummy. So I've got my heart trick, ruffed my spade, and so now I have 5 tricks in the bag, and I have the queen 9 of diamonds over the jack, so I'm going to score those 2 tricks at some point. So a nice little adventure for down 1. At the other table they did get to 3 no trump, and they couldn't quite make it. So instead of being minus 120, I was minus 200. So all in all, not the end of the world for being doubled in kind of an abysmal spot. So the next deal, Beth opened 1 no trump. I transferred to spades and passed, and South is probably licking her chops over here. So she led a club, and as you can see, you know, it's pretty normal to go down 1 or 2 on this deal. So you're going to lose 2 diamonds, 1 heart, 2 spades for sure. And of course, all these spades in South means that you're going to lose 1 or 2 more spades. So Beth started by playing the hearts, and a diamond came through and another diamond. And then they continued a heart, which she won. And now she led the jack of spades, which is a little worse than leading low here because it's stiff king, but of course then you would have to duck in both hands. So the play kind of happened itself, and she went down 2 as they did at the other table, which is pretty normal if you can't see all the cards, I think. So another push board. So here, the opponents had another uncontested auction to themselves. They had a strong club, I think a natural no trump, a natural 2 spades, natural 2 no, natural 3 no, 3 spades, 3 no, South bid 4 clubs cubed, 4 diamonds cubed, 4 hearts cubed, 5 hearts cubed. Beth doubled 5 hearts for the lead. Pass, pass, redouble showing the ace, pass, 6 spades, all pass. Obviously the ace of hearts is not what South really cared about. So I led the jack of hearts, and it went queen, king, and she ruffed. And so now she hoped that spades would just be 2-2, in which case then she could hopefully run a squeeze to not have to take a club finesse. Unfortunately for her, the spades were 3-1, so Beth cashed her tricks and got out a club. And so now Declare ran her trumps, and you can see that I'm guarding hearts and clubs and diamonds, so it's pretty much hopeless, and so Declare was down 1. And at the other table, they also got to 6 spades, but they just took a club finesse, so we lost 2 imps on this board. So this one was actually our big loss. Again, we had nothing to do. The opponents had an uncontested auction. Strong club, 2 clubs natural, 3 diamonds splinter, 3 spades cubed, I think, 4 clubs, 4 hearts cubed, perhaps. Beth doubled for the lead. 4 no trump, probably some sort of key card. 5 clubs, 1, 5 diamonds, do you have the queen? 5 spades, I have the queen and the king of spades, and she took a shot at 7 clubs, knowing it was going to be on, at worst, a spade finesse from her perspective. And you can see that 7 clubs is a pretty decent spot. It's a little better than 7 spades because you'll be able to rough out the hand and find out everyone's shapes before you have to commit to how to go in spades. So that's what Declare did. I led the jack of hearts, and now she drew trumps and then roughed everything, and couldn't really find out too much about all the shapes. So in the end, she played spade and another spade, and the spades were 2-2, so they made 7. And our teammates actually had a little accident at the other table and only got to 4 spades. So, you know, for all things considered, the fact that the opponents got to 7 versus 6 is like a lot less of a deal because, you know, we would be losing 13 imps anyway. So, so here, you know, this is kind of just illustrative of something that happens a lot, which is, when you bid like, imagine if they had bid the 7 and now they had lost to the Queen of Spades, so they had been down 1. So now they would be losing imps to game at the other table, whereas now they're in 7, and if at the other table, as they were only in game. If they were only in 6, they were going to pick up most of those imps anyway to play a very safe 6 clubs or 6 spades. But of course, our opponents were down a lot, so it's normal to try to push to these grands. So this board, I think is probably my favorite board of this set. I like to call it my Lotan Fischer board. So it went pass, and my partner opened 2 diamonds, which we play as multi. And South overcalled 2 no trump, North bid 3 clubs, she bid 3 diamonds, and North bid 3 no. So here I was on lead against 3 no trump. And so my partner had opened multi in 3rd seat. So I didn't think that our chances for beating this were going to be very high, unless I could hit partner's suit. At the other table, what they did is they had the same auction, and they elected to lead the ace of diamonds to try to see which suit was partners so they could shift. I have to say that I didn't really think about the ace of diamonds lead, but even after considering it, I feel that, with such few defensive assets to our hand, and the fact that partner opened only 2 diamonds in 3rd seat, when they might have stretched to a more aggressive, like 3-level preempt, means that, if you are beating this contract, then maybe the ace of diamonds is going to let it make, like, even if you find out what partner's major is, you might have just given up the tempo that you need in order to beat it. That's what I thought. Anyway, so there I was, on lead against 3-0, hoping for some divine inspiration. So I was just sitting there being like, well, would North bid Stayman? Which major would they more likely have? So eventually I was like, I gotta lead one of these 2 suits. So I was like, well, my hearts are worse, and partner usually has hearts. So that was my thinking, and finally I led a heart. And they asked me what our leads were, and I kind of shrugged, because, like, our leads are 4th best, but third in partner's suit, but I have no idea if hearts is partner's suit or not. So dummy hit, and it looked like I had found the right lead, which is great. So it went low, Beth stuck in the jack, and now Declare could see that she had a good way to make it, which is just cash some spades and take a club finesse, and hope that she ends up with 8 tricks, or 9 tricks here. So she cast the ace of clubs in case of stiff queen, and then she played a spade to the king and a spade up. And now I think that what Declare may have thought is that, it looks like my holdings are going to be the similar in the majors. So I found the heart lead, so probably I have jack 4th of spades. I think that might be a little incorrect, because I took a long time to find the heart lead. If I had jack 4th and 3 small hearts, then I probably would have led a heart without too much difficulty. So I think that actually she has a clue that the spades are 3-3. But she finessed, and now Beth got in, and then the roof caved in as she cashed all her hearts, and then I encouraged my diamonds, so I got my 2 diamonds, and eventually had to give Declare the last trick. For down 4... Down 4? Yeah. For a pretty nice result. Of course, the opponents weren't vulnerable, so it was just win 5 against 3-0 down 1 at the other table. When, after you lead the ace of diamonds and shift to a heart, Declare, unfortunately, for our side, still doesn't have enough tricks, and is going to be down 1. Alright, so then we continue on. It went pass, and South opened 3 diamonds. And I was kind of like, because, when you're playing a match and you're up a lot, you're a little worried about what your opponents might do. But I had a pretty normal 3-spade overcall, and this went all pass. And they led a diamond, and cashed another diamond, and shifted to a club. And I was a little worried that this was a singleton club now. So I went up with the ace, and I decided that, South had the ace-queen of diamonds, and, not super likely that South had the king of spades. If they had the jack of spades, then I could squash it by playing the queen, hopefully, if they had jack and 1. So I just won the ace, cashed the ace of spades, played the queen of spades, and Declare, and then I got the bad news. And now the rest of the hand kind of played itself. They managed to engineer themselves the ruff, which I can't really stop because South does have the ace of hearts. So that was down 3, which didn't feel very good for sure, but there wasn't really that much I could do. At the other table, our teammates had a great result. They managed to make 3 no trump in the north-south, so we actually won 3 imps here. Alright, so then the opponents opened a diamond. They bid a heart. I had nothing to say, of course. 1 spade and 1 no trump. So here I was on lead against 1 no, and I think I led a heart here. And the reason that I did is that, well, it was my 5-card suit. My spots were okay, so if I happened to catch partner with some sort of heart holding, maybe we could set up the hearts. As it turns out, Declare has a 4-3 heart fit, so she had no problems with this lead at all. In fact, she played back a heart, which I ducked. And now she ran the queen of clubs. And I didn't know enough about the hand to really know what to do, so I just ducked this trick. If I had won it and managed to find a spade shift, I think we could hold it. But now Declare changed tacks and played a diamond to the queen, which Beth kind of had to duck perforce, rather than set up her tricks here. As it turns out, I think if she had won it, we also could have held it, but it seems normal to duck rather than set up a bunch of tricks for Declare. So now she went back to hearts, and I won the ace, and just cleared hearts, hoping that Declare needed another club trick, perhaps. So now Declare cashed the ace of diamonds, and cashed the ace of clubs, and played a diamond, and my partner got end played in the spade suit to give dummy the last spade. So that was very well played by Declare. I think we could have held it to maybe 1 or 2 on better defense. But not a big deal playing imps. I never try to think about these hands at imps because, you know, who cares? It's just some over tricks, move on. At the other table, they also had a very reasonable bidding sequence, which resulted in South playing 1 heart, and unfortunately with the 5-1 heart jerk, she just couldn't quite make it, so we lost a part score swing here. So then, board 27, so South opened 3 clubs, and I had a pretty normal 3 spade overcall, and North bid pass, and now Beth pulled out a gadget of ours. She could have bid 4 diamonds natural, but she elected to bid 4 clubs to show a good raise to 4 spades. And now I wasn't entirely sure what I should do here. Obviously I have nothing to Q-bid in the red suits. I do have ace-king 6th of spades and ace-king doubleton of clubs. However, my 3-spade bid, of course, also shows some stuff. So I think that my options here are I could bid 4 spades like I did, or I could bid 5 clubs to say I have a pretty good hand, but I have nothing in the red suits. And I thought for a little while, eventually I decided that I needed a partner to have a pretty decent hand, and that, you know, like, I didn't think that we had 5-level safety, and yeah, I think in hindsight maybe I owe her a 5-club bid, but as you can see, the slam itself is not that great. If had I bid 5 clubs, Beth probably would have bid 5 diamonds, I would have bid 5 spades, and now it would be up to her whether she decided. She would know, of course, that we don't have a heart control, so she would need the ace of hearts on side for starters, but she might hope that I have the queen of diamonds or something, so then you just need the ace of hearts on side. Anyway, so she bid 4 clubs, I bid 4 spades, and when dummy hit, I could see that, you know, this wasn't such a great slam, but I was worried that the opponents might be there if they were going to be very aggressive, being down a lot. So they let a club, and I drew trumps, hoping that they were not breaking. They did. And then I played a diamond up, and it was stiff queen, so then I claimed all 13. So I was a little worried about this board for sure. The other table, they only got to 5 diamonds, so we actually won a few imps for playing in the higher scoring suit. So now the opponents had this here. They opened 1 no trump. South bid 2 spades, I think sizer clubs. North bid 3 clubs, and she bid 3 no. And Beth has a normal spade lead. And Declare won this and started to drive out the ace of diamonds. Beth cashed her spades and got out a diamond. And now Declare basically is going to have a club guess for her contract. And she did not get the club guess right, so this actually was a push against 3-0 down 1 at the other table. But it felt like, like pretty good because she could have made it. So then the next board, Beth and I had a same auction actually, 2 spades, size ask, 3 clubs, 3-0. We played 14 to 16, and so I could have passed 1-0 trump, but I really liked my spot cards here, like the 10, 9, 8s. Like I find that when you are in a kind of dicey contract, sometimes those spot cards can make all the difference. So Declare led a diamond, which was good for us, and Beth started, she started with 3 hearts, 3 diamonds, and a club, which is 7 tricks, so she needed 2 spade tricks, and we had a 5-3 spade fit, so as long as they didn't find the club shift and they couldn't cash enough clubs, then we were going to be great. But unfortunately, they did find the club shift, and the person with the clubs could get in, and they could cash enough clubs. So unfortunately, this was a push with 3-0 at the other table. And you can sort of see that 4 spades is no better. You'll lose a club, 2 spades, and a diamond. So I guess it's 1 trick better, but basically has no play unless South decides to underlead their queen of diamonds. So here, Beth and I had quite a complicated auction, I thought. She opened the club, I bid a heart, and she bid 2 diamonds. So now, of course, I have quite a good hand, so I bid 3 diamonds to show that I had a diamond fit with her and values. She bid 3 spades, which I just took as patterning out. And now I bid 4 diamonds to show her that I had slam interest here. And she bid 5 diamonds. And so I thought that I couldn't really move over 5 diamonds because I had so many holes in my hands, so there we were in 5 diamonds. And as you can see, 6 diamonds is a pretty good spot because you have all the clubs, and you can pitch the spade, you can rough the spade. That's basically all you have to do. Or if you could even, if they don't lead a spade, you could even just draw trumps and give up a heart. So on a spade lead, then you have to time it a little bit, but then on a non-spade lead, it's pretty easy. So against 5 diamonds, they actually just let a heart. So now Beth just drew trumps and conceded a heart for making 12 tricks. So again, I was a little worried because we missed a slam that I thought they might bid at the other table, but luckily for us, they did only get to 3-0 trump, so we just lost a few imps for playing in a lower scoring game now. So now South passed, and Beth and I play a very light opening style, which allows me to open this hand 1 spade without much guilt. North overcalled 2 diamonds. She could have tried a light 1-0 trump, but at red on white, I think that 2 diamonds is pretty normal. And Beth raised to 2 spades, and South was 4-4 in the other suits, so she chose to make a responsive double, and it went pass, and North thought for a little bit and just bid 3 diamonds, and they rested there. And as you can see, South's queen jack of spades actually hold full value opposite the king third, so they have the same number of tricks in diamonds and no trump. And at the other table, I think that there was no 1 spade opener, so Toby just opened a no trump, and that made it pretty easy for them to get to 3-0, taking the same number of tricks. So finally, the last board of the set. And so actually our set has felt pretty good, although we had some potential to lose if the opponents are bidding some slams. And of course the board where they bid 7 clubs is not good, but we still have some good results too. So the opponents had a pretty normal auction to get to four spades, and Beth was on lead against four spades with no bidding, and so she also had like all of our sides high card points. So a reasonable thing to do if you don't have so many highs, of course, is to just cash the ace of hearts and see if maybe you can get a ruff. But of course she knows that I can't really have an entry since she holds 14 points. So she decided to just lead a trump. And now Declare did well in the play here. She did not draw another trump. So now Beth cashed the ace of hearts and got out of her hand with the trump. And now Declare can ruff her diamond and then cross to the heart. And now Beth ruffed this and got out her last trump, but now she has to guess the club suit to make it. And as it is, because it's queen third on side, it doesn't really matter what she does. She did think for a while here about whether to finesse or to play the king, but queen third on side doesn't really matter. Obviously, she finessed so that she would be able to pick up queen fourth on side. And at the other table, they actually went down in four spades because they drew a second round of trumps themselves, which allowed East to get in and play king and a spade, and so then North-South got a little tangled there. So that was our set. We actually lost 16 on this set, which the entirety of that can be attributed to this 7 clubs opposite 4 spades swing. So we were still up 29 going into the 5th set, and we were sitting out, so we had nothing to do but just hope that our teammates had a good session and put us into the final set with a good lead.